Let's talk a little bit about Salesforce. So again, we have the best customers in the world. We're very, very fortunate. We have amazing partners also represented here. And it's been a pretty good 17 years. So we are now, because of you, the 4th largest enterprise software company in the world, which we're incredibly proud of. And yes, we are a little humble about this. But FY16 was a banner year for the company. We actually broke into the Fortune 500. We continue to get recognition because of our great customers from Fortune around being an admired company and being one of the top 100 companies to work for and to work with. Forbes continues to recognize us as an incredibly innovative company. We just finished in FY16 at the end of January, about $6.7 billion in revenue. We're up to 20,000 employees. This is the Salesforce Tower that you see in San Francisco. Of course, we're going to be building one in Boylston Street any day now. That's not the Four Seasons they're building. That's the new Salesforce Tower in Boston. And last but not least, we'll actually do about $8.1 billion in revenue in FY17. So we're on a roll. But again, being incredibly sincere here, we would never be in this position without these great customers, all of you represented here. So please, one more time, if you just give yourselves a round of applause. Unbelievable. Now, we would not be able to build this company without great customers and establishing incredible long-term trusted relationships. And when we get into these conversations with customers, they want to make sure, before they enter into this long-term relationship with us, that we are aligned culturally, that we share the same values. So many times, when we're in dialogue with our customers, we talk about these core values, which you can see on this screen. And it starts with trust, because anytime you have a long-term relationship, it's going to be based on trust. And in fact, any relationship is based on trust, whether it's your personal life, whether it's your professional life. But with our customers, we have nothing if we don't have trust. Our technology is trusted, our relationships are trusted, our investment in our customers is all about trust. And then, of course, innovation, which is part of our DNA. It's what we do every day by delivering 3 incredible releases of software a year that you can take advantage of to get value out of your investment. And of course, if you do that, you're going to drive growth, because we want growth for our customers. That is what it's all about. And oh, by the way, I'm sure we all know that the agenda for every CEO in the world is to drive growth. They don't want to cut their way to prosperity. They want to drive growth. So if our technology can enable that, then we've accomplished our mission. And last but not least, and very, very important to us, because this is part of our culture, this is part of our DNA, is equality. It's incredibly important, and we have taken some very strong positions because we believe in this. This is part of our core. It's who we believe in, it's what we believe in, and at the end of the day, in the Salesforce community, our employees, our partners, our customers, we want an environment that is safe, and we want an environment that promotes equality. And this is what we discuss with our customers, because we want to make sure that there's alignment with the companies that we do business with and build long-term partnerships. Now, I talked a little bit about 17 years of customer success, thanks to everybody here in this audience. And we celebrated in March our 17th birthday. And this 17 years ago, when Mark Benioff and Parker Harris founded the company, they pioneered cloud computing. They created a new model. It was a new technology model. It was a new business model. It was a new philanthropic model. And I'm going to just take you through each one of these very, very quickly. So this new technology model, this was all about innovation. It was all about innovation. It was about stepping forward and unshackling customers and companies from infrastructure and legacy technology. Remember, that is a world where you had to install software. Remember, the Murphys hate software. You had to install software. You had to install storage devices and servers and networks and all that incredibly fascinating stuff that we wake up every day and we think about. And this was an opportunity, by delivering technology as a service in a multi-tenant cloud computing environment, where you could focus on innovation. Because the world that we live in today, it is an imperative to focus on innovation. That is our future. And by the way, customers love innovation. People love innovation. And the new technology model allowed that to happen. And it allowed you to take advantage of this scalable metadata platform, which means if you had customizations, which is really your IP, what really differentiates you from your competition, you could preserve that investment, you could carry that forward, and you could be agile and anticipate the market anticipate the environment, anticipate regulatory compliance, and move forward. And all of this new technology model was built on this trusted enterprise cloud, which was highly secure, incredibly available, and super performant. And that was our new technology model 17 years ago. And then there was this new business model, which was all about customer success, because customer success is what it's all about. And it really is a shared success model. And as many of you know, in cloud computing, it's a subscription pricing. And that was to align your deployment and value realization with the way that we get paid and recognize revenue. You win, we win. Joint success. Very, very different from the perpetual license world, where you buy tons of stuff up front, and you might get some value out of it, and you're paying 20 to 25% maintenance on it, but no innovation, and the risk is all on you. Okay? That is a very, very different model. That is the past, that is legacy, and we're all about the future. And we support you with an incredible organization called the Customer Success Group. These people wake up every single day, and all they care about is driving adoption and driving your success. That's what CSG does. And we're privileged and blessed to have the world's greatest cloud ecosystem of partners, systems integrators, management consulting firms, boutiques, ISVs, who bring expertise around innovation or process flows or architecture. And these are people who are here to make you successful. And that was our new business model. Well, the third plank was our new philanthropic model, and that is the 1-1-1 model. Now, this is something that was not an afterthought. It's part of the constitution of the company. It was the very first day that the company was born that this was put in place, and we created Salesforce.org, where the company gives 1% of the people's time, our employees' time, and 1% of the company equity, and 1% of the product to organizations that do great work in the community. And that's very, very important to us. It's part of our culture. And our culture, quite frankly, is the strength of the company. And we've been able to inspire now over 500 different companies to adopt this 1-1-1 model, which is really, really cool. And I hope, and our goal, is that the next time that we see you next year with the Murphys, our house band, that maybe we've inspired 1,000 companies. But this was very, very important to who we are and what we stand for. Now, every time we do one of these world tours, we try to recognize a local organization that does amazing things in the community. And we are very, very privileged here today to have the Boston Partners in Education. And Pamela Civins, who is amazing, is the executive director, and she is with us here today to tell that story. How about a round of applause for Pamela? Welcome. You sold this place out.
Oh, you guys have made my day.
I think we should just go up in the rafters.
Yeah, why not?
Well, I can see these people are awake, but we're not sure about these people over here. But the people who were singing with the Murphys were over here, so. Okay, so we might talk a little bit about technology, but why don't you share, Pamela, what this is all about and what the Boston Partners of Education does?
Yeah, so Boston Partners in Education, we're about to celebrate our 50th anniversary. We have been a resource for the Boston Public Schools all that time. And what we're really trying to do is help teachers and schools bring equity into their classrooms. And sometimes they can't do it alone, they need help. And so what we do is we work with kids in grades K through 12. And the way that we do that is by getting people from our community to actually go into schools, right into classrooms, supporting kids in reading, writing, and math. They commit to 1 hour at least each week over the school year. And what really makes us unique is that we are a resource for teachers. So any teacher in the Boston Public Schools, if they have students who they're struggling, they need a little bit of extra help, they can actually go to our website, nominate those kids. Kids might be struggling, they might have some gaps in their skills and their knowledge. They might speak English as a second language. Right. And sometimes it's really just about boosting their confidence.
Now, how did you get involved in all this? What's your background?
Yeah, so I'm passionate about volunteerism. I was a Peace Corps volunteer in Nepal back in the early 90s. I was a teacher my first year. I realized I could never be a teacher in real life forever. And I trained teachers my second year in Peace Corps, and then I actually got to go back and train incoming volunteers. And I think during that time what I learned is that there was not that equity, right, in education. And that could mean access. That could mean quality of education. That could mean opportunity. And so that has really helped me professionally. That's been my path my entire life.
Okay, now you leverage our technology.
Oh, definitely.
Okay, well, I'm glad that you gave a very enthusiastic response.
Yeah.
But you obviously love software.
Yeah.
So, can you share with the audience, how do you use that technology? What does Boston Partners in Education do with Salesforce?
Yeah, so I always tell my staff, I always tell everybody, hey, I am in the business of building relationships, right? So we are building relationships with schools, with teachers, with volunteers, with students, with businesses, with our donors, with our community. I mean, those are a lot of constituents. And so what Salesforce, and we had started using it back in 2007, before there was ever a nonprofit package, actually. It really helps us to map and to manage all of those relationships.
Right. So you get to work with some pretty amazing people and some pretty amazing kids, and we should probably recognize, you have some friends here?
Yeah, so here's a shout out to the Timidly Middle School. The kids are here. Miss Hines is here.
A round of applause.
A partner of ours.
We had the opportunity to spend some time at the Timothy Middle School, and they're amazing kids. Mm-hmm. And Karen is an amazing teacher. Thank you, Karen, for doing everything you do for these kids. So what is the future of Boston Partners in Education?
Yeah, so like I said, we're about to celebrate our 50th anniversary. Come September 2016, we are celebrating. And with that...
With the Dropkick Murphys, or...?
Hey, if you help us get the Dropkick Murphys, why not? Woo! Yeah, we want to make it bigger and better than ever. And, really what we want to do is we want to really step up our marketing. And I think Salesforce is going to help us do that because we have information about all our constituents in the database. We've got to make our messaging the best thing that it can be. We want to be serving 25% more kids. Usually we serve about 3,000 students each year in the Boston Public Schools. And we really want to be serving more as we move forward. And I think Salesforce is going to help us be able to do that.
Well, we want to help you some more. So we want to present you and the Boston Partners in Education with a little bit of a check here, which we are super proud to give you. So here you go.
Thank you. Wow.
So congratulations. Woo. This is from Salesforce and all the, the great partners.
Thank you so much.
All for you.
Love it.
I'm going to give that to you.
Sure.
There you go.
There you go.
Now, Pamela's going to walk out with this check right now.
I'm headed to the bank.
Anyway, how about a round of applause for Pamela? Thank you. She's going to go rent the Murphys out with that check. For the Timothy School. Another round of applause for the Timothy School kids. All right. Everybody has something to do in their life, and everybody's very, very busy, and giving is important. And I'm sure everybody has your own cause, but the Boston Partners in Education, shameless plug, is an amazing organization. So if you can help them out, that would be great. Okay, let's talk about the age of the customer, all right? So this is a place and world that we live in, really the dawn of an era where everything and everyone is connected. So if I take you down memory lane, a little bit of history, I know we've done this before, but in the beginning of time, there was the mainframe, okay? And there were thousands of connections with the mainframe, and this is kind of the world that I came from. I started my career with a mainframe. Not something I really like to admit, but yes, it's true. And then the second wave of computing came about, and that was client-server. And there were millions of connections with client-server. And both the first wave and the second wave of computing had some sort of transformational impact on the world, society, organizations, corporations, et cetera. And that was really cool. But now, as we all know, we live in this amazing world where there are billions of connected things and trillions of customer interactions. And that is because we have this perfect storm of technology, this explosion of technology where we have cloud. Of course, we created that. And mobile, and social, and data science, and IoT, Internet of Things, all coming together. It is an incredible convergence of technologies. And it's allowing us to innovate at a pace and at a rate with impact that has just never been seen before in the world. I mean, it really is amazing. All these things coming together, providing opportunities for innovation and disruption And when you think about it, there's many, many companies that you could use as an example of this disruptive innovation. And one that we often talk about and affects our daily lives is a company called Uber. Now, this is a company that is 6 years old, and it has a market cap of about $50 billion. It has no drivers, it has no cars, but it leverages all of these amazing technologies. And it has completely changed the game. And when Uber started, people said, oh, they're here to disrupt the taxi services. Well, then somebody said, well, they're here to disrupt the limousine services. But the reality is that Uber is completely disrupting the transportation and logistics industry. And if you walk the halls of Federal Express and UPS and TNT and DHL, in their executive offices, they are talking about this level of disruption that Uber has brought to the table. And it's not just transportation and logistics. This can happen to every single industry. In fact, it is happening to every single industry. No industry is immune to this level of disruption. You can talk to CEOs all over the world, all walks of life, and they're all talking with this phrase, I'm concerned about being Uberized. And this is not unlike what Amazon did 15 to 20 years ago, where they completely disrupted the brick and mortar retail business, except they didn't have all this explosive technology available like we do today. And so this has created a world where it's disrupt or be disrupted. That's the world that we live in. And the barrier to disruption has never been lower, and the opportunity to innovate, it has never been higher. So this is a call to arms. It is a call to action for all of us to step into the age of the customer and to unshackle ourselves from this legacy technology and innovate in a way that we've never been able to innovate before. That's what the age of the customer is all about. So you may ask yourself, how do you step into this age of the customer? Well, there's a few things that you can do. And it starts with connecting to your customers in an entirely new way. So that means connected applications and connected products and connected employees and connected partners and connected communities. And a company that is actually a great example of this is a company called Schneider Electric. They're an energy management company. They're actually a best-in-class company in Europe. And they are leveraging our technology. They have lit up 20,000 employees to engage with their customer base in entirely new ways. They have changed their business processes around sales and service. And at the World Economic Forum, their CEO, Jean-Pascal Tricoire, stood up in front of a digital transformation panel and said that he and his company were completely reinventing themselves, completely rethinking how they engage with customers around sales, service, and marketing, leveraging Salesforce. So that's connecting to your customers in a new way. Well, the next one is to run your business from your phone. Now, we all have these mobile devices. Everybody in this audience has a mobile phone. Some people have 2, some people have 3. I don't know why you would have more than that, but some people do. But by 2020, there will be over 6 billion of these devices. And at Salesforce, we all run our business from our phone. So a few weeks ago, I was able to close the fiscal year. I was able to do all my approvals from my phone. I was able to collaborate with the account teams on any deals that I was working. I was watching all the KPIs around pipeline, deals growing, and deals grew thanks to you, our customers. We had a great fiscal year end. But everything I needed to do to close the quarter, our CFO, everything we needed to do, we could do from our phone. But another company that has a mobile-first strategy, just like Salesforce, is a company called Unilever. And again, this is a company, it's one of the world's greatest companies. And if you're familiar with their product, one of their products is Dove soap. How many people use Dove soap? How many will admit that they're using Dove soap? All the Timothy kids use Dove soap. Anyway, Unilever is using Salesforce technology to manage their inventory controls, to manage retail execution and trade promotions and management. And if you know anything about the consumer packaged goods space, this is the guts of how those companies run. So Unilever is a great example of a company that's running their business from their phone. Well, another one is to build customer journeys, because getting closer to your customers in this world, with all the pace and innovation and speed that we deal with, that's what it's all about. And so there's a local company here, Optum, which is a division of United Health Group. They're actually right across the street from Fenway Park, FYI. And they are building these incredible lifelong relationships, from prenatal customer journeys to providing digital and physical experiences to their clients and their patients. And here to the right, now this is not one of my kids, but this is baby Bernie Sanders, I believe. And when Bernie Sanders grows up and becomes president of the United States, he will have a one-to-one relationship with Optum. Am I right? Come on, you're from New England. You can applaud Bernie Sanders. That's okay. If you want to. Anyway. And then, last but not least, is everyone and everything in this world is getting smarter. It is imperative that we become smarter and closer to our customers. Now, this statistic is amazing. Every time I see this, I'm in absolute shock. 90% of the world's data has been created in the last 12 months. And this is not slowing down. It is only accelerating. And you think about the opportunity to leverage all this information. You know, I was in Houston last week, certainly not Boston, but Houston's okay. And I was in Houston talking to the CEO of one of the largest oil and gas companies in the world. And they do upstream and downstream, and they're collecting all this information. But the challenge is they don't know what to do with that data. They're collecting all sorts of information, but what do they do with that data? Well, in the world that we live in, where everyone and everything is smarter, you can have predictive analytics and next best actions and machine learning and artificial intelligence. It's what you do with that data and how important it is to get closer to your customer and gathering that information and doing something with it. And that's the world that we live in. If you want to step into the age of the customer, you have to get smarter about your customers. Well, here's the deal. There's a challenge and there's an opportunity. Okay? So that's what we call the customer gap. And on the left, you can see you have your company. And you know, we've been collecting all this data, 90% of the world's data in the last 12 months, but less than 1% of that data has actually been analyzed. So people are not doing anything with it. But what an abundance of riches, what a wonderful opportunity. But on the right, across the chasm, you have your customers. And 77% of these customers are not engaged with the companies that they do business with. They have a very transactional relationship. They don't have a strategic relationship, it's very transactional. And they want that strategic relationship. And you want that strategic relationship as you engage with them because their loyalty is one click away. The switching cost of a customer in today's world is nothing. So that customer intimacy and closing that gap is really, really important because we all walk around with these mainframes in our pocket, these mobile devices. They're incredibly powerful, and we have an expectation. My 85-year-old mother has an expectation. My kids have an expectation. They conduct their personal lives on these phones, and they want to conduct business with the companies that they want to do business with in the exact same manner. And that's where the friction is, and that's where the opportunity is. So how do you solve this problem? How do you cross this chasm? How do you bridge the gap with the customer problem? Well, the answer is you become a customer company. Very simple. You think about sales and service and marketing and communities and analytics and next best actions and mobile applications and Internet of Things, all these things coming together, and you put your customer at the center of your world, the center of your universe, and you leverage the customer success platform. Salesforce has an incredible customer success platform to bridge that gap so that you can make your company a customer company. And that way you can connect to your customers in entirely new ways. You can run your business from your phone. You can build these incredible one-to-one journeys, and you get smarter about your customers. And that's how it's done. That's how you become a customer company.